Alright, so out here we'll be starting with the concept of interfaces. Now, till date, what we have done is that we have studied about different drivers separately. That there is something known as Firefox driver, there's something known as Chrome driver, there's something known as IE driver. Okay, we have studied about these driver classes separately. Okay, but we have not. What we have not done is that suppose if I have uh, uh, a requirement that the script has to be executed across all the browsers, right? Then how will I write the script? Or if I want that uh, I write a piece of code on my on my wish that code should run on Firefox, and on my wish that code should run on Chrome and IE, and moreover there are different driver classes. Will I be learning every class separately? Every class has got its own set of functions. Okay. Will I be learning those functions separately? So answer to that will come from the concept of interfaces. Okay. Right. I'll create a new Java project known as Day3, and in the Java project I'll create a new interface, not a new class but a new interface. Okay. Right. Now what is an interface? First of all, in a layman's term, I can tell you that fine, if you go and buy a book from the market, you suppose you like to read novels and you want to read a novel or a good story book. When you go to the market, you look at the book's cover. The cover of the book gives you a brief idea what this book is about. You actually don't know how it will be. Okay, so that cover of the book is like an interface which tells you that what the book is offering. Alright, but you actually don't know how it will be. Alright, fine. So, suppose if you go to any website, right? Suppose you go to, hold on, browser is hanging, just 1 minute, right? Suppose you go to any website, okay, right? Suppose you go to Gmail website, this is the Gmail website, okay. This website, this is the interface of this website. How actually Gmail will work, whether it will be for you or not, you really don't know. Okay, so the interface of this website simply tells you that you can create a login and you can actually log in into the website and do stuff. Okay, right. So out here in day 3, you'll create a new class, a new interface. Sorry. Suppose I create an interface known as phone. So an interface in Java also tells you it's an interface, not a class. An interface in Java also tells you that what the system is about, what the system will do, what phone will do. For example, phone can have features like public void call, and you put a semicolon. You just declare it. You don't define the body of the functions in the interfaces. You just declare the functions. Okay, right? Similarly, you can make the function public void say charge. You don't have the body, you just have the names of the functions. Sorry. Just by looking at this phone interface, you can tell that there are two functions in the interface, call and charge. Okay, these are the two functions. Right. Now suppose if I make a new class known as say Nokia. So in Java, what we write, Nokia is actually a phone. Nokia should have the functions like calling and charging. Okay. So in Java, what we do is that we write class Nokia implements the phone interface. Okay. Class Nokia implements the phone interface. Now, what do you mean by this? What is the practicality of this? Alright. So this means that the Nokia class will have all the features of the phone class, of the phone interface. It will give bodies to all the functions in the phone interface. You move the mouse over this error and say add unimplemented methods. So both the functions call and charge will come up in this class. If a class is implementing an interface, it is mandatory for class to implement all the functions of the interface. You cannot just skip one of them and you can say that fine, I'll implement one. Okay, to give you an error. It is mandatory for that class to implement all the functions of the interface. Okay, this @ override is known as an annotation. It is not necessary to keep it, you can remove it as well. Okay, but we keep it so that just by looking at this symbol, we can come to know that fine, this function is coming from the phone interface actually. Okay, right? If anyone has any questions, you can let me know. Alright, fine. Now, out here, you can give just one minute, right. You can write over here Nokia calling, and you can write over here Nokia charging. Alright, fine. Now, similarly, I can make more functions over here. I can write over here say a phone class like uh, iPhone. Okay, and I can write public class iPhone implements phone. So iPhone will also have to uh, sorry, iPhone will also have to add the unimplemented functions from phone interface. Okay, it will have to give the bodies to the functions from the phone interface. You can write over here iPhone calling and iPhone chat. But what did I get out of it? If you look at it in form of a diagram, what I did, right, what I did was I created an interface and there were two classes which were implementing the interface. Whatever functions we had, okay, call and charge in the interface had to be mandatorily implemented by these two classes. Okay, these two classes had to implement the functions call and charge. What is the use of this thing? Why did I do this? What will I gain out of it? Look, I have an interface. Two classes are implementing the interface. Right. I could have never made the interface. I could have simply created the classes. The only advantage which I get from this is that it gives a structure to my application. Tomorrow, if another five phones they come up in the market, all of them will be extending the phone, sorry, not extending, will be implementing the phone interface, and all of them will have the functions call and charge. And just by looking at the interface, you can tell that what are the functions of every mobile phone. Are you getting my point? If you're not able to understand, you can ask me. You can unmute yourself and you can ask questions. There is also a option to chat over here. You can chat and ask the questions as well. Okay, right? Fine. Right. So, sorry, I'm having a little cold. I'm sorry. Right. So out here, I'm sorry. Right. Out here, we have an interface and there can be many classes implementing the interface and the classes will have same set of functions. And that's what happens in Selenium. If you look at Selenium, if you go to the official website of Selenium, which is seleniumhq.org, right. So just a minute, I'll just give him the URL. Right. So out here, if you go to the official website of Selenium and if you go to the download section, okay, you will see the Java docs which I talked about. In this Java doc, whatever is there in italics, for example, action is written in italics, then that is an interface. Okay, for example, if you scroll down, you will see something known as mouse. It's written in italics. Okay, so mouse is an interface which represents basic mouse functions. Like over here, functions are there: click, context click, double click, mouse move, mouse down. Right. Okay. So these were these are the basic mouse functions and these are the implementing classes. All the known implementing classes. These are the two classes which implement the mouse interface. Okay, right. And these two classes will have same set of functions. Maybe the implementation will vary. These two classes will have these set of functions. Similarly, if you scroll down, you will see that there is something written as WebDriver over here. WebDriver is an interface. Okay, and this interface has got many functions which we'll see. They are the basic functions like close, which will close the browser, Find element will go and find an element on a web page. Okay, get the title of the page. There are various interactive functions which can be used with the browser. Okay, and all the implementing classes are the various drivers in Selenium. Chrome driver, Edge driver, Firefox driver, iDriver, Opera, okay, whatever we have studied. Okay, all these are the implementing classes for this interface. That means that whether you are using Firefox driver or you are using Chrome driver or you are using iDriver, you will have same set of functions in all the classes. Okay, earlier I had talked about different drivers, right? I talked about Firefox driver, Chrome driver, and iDriver. If you create the object of these three classes, you will get same set of functions because all these three classes they implement the WebDriver interface. The functions will be the same, the names will be same. Okay, the implementations will vary for the respective browsers. You are getting my point, right? Because everybody is so silent. If you have any questions, you can let me know. Alright, fine. So, can you give us real-time web application example? I'm giving you a real-time example over here, Krishna. Okay, out here we have the three classes in Selenium: Firefox driver, Chrome driver, and iDriver. Okay, these classes they are implementing the interface. If you look at the documentation, all these classes they are implementing the interface WebDriver. So all these classes will have the functions which are declared in the WebDriver interface. Like a simple function we had seen get, we had navigated to yahoo.com in every browser, right? The function name it remains the same. Sorry, the function name remains get. That means all the three driver classes they are implementing the WebDriver interface, so they have the same set of functions. Okay, right? Fine. So out here you can or you don't have to worry that if I learn Firefox driver or if I learn Chrome driver or if I learn iDriver, I will have to uh, learn each and every driver separately. No, the functions will remain same. For example, I'll make a new class. I'll show you. Hold on. Let me add the jar files for Selenium. And I'll create a new class known as launch browser. Now suppose if I have a situation wherein I define my browser. If I define my browser over here, later on you can read this parameter from an Excel file or a properties file. We'll see how to do that. Based on the value of the browser parameter, whatever code I am writing over here should execute on that particular browser. Okay, right. So you got my point, right? So how do I write the code? Can anybody tell me? Can anybody tell me? How will I write the code? What can I do? Just a minute. So basically, generally people say that you can put if statements. You can write over here that you can write if browser is equal to say Mozilla, then you can use the Firefox driver. Okay. Else if the browser is equal to Chrome, you can use the Chrome driver. Else if the browser is equal to I, you can use the I driver. But what is the advantage of this? How will I write the code? Okay, right. So to understand that, hold on. I can write the code like this. But does it look like a good solution? If the browser is Mozilla, I'll launch Mozilla, go to yahoo.com. If the browser is Chrome, I'll launch Chrome and I'll go to yahoo.com. If it is I'll launch I and go to yahoo.com. And then I will, suppose if I have to click on a link on Firefox, I'll click on the link in Firefox over here. If I want to click on link on Chrome, I can click it over here, and on I can click it over here, because every driver has to be initialized separately. When I'm initializing Firefox driver, I have to use the FD reference. When I have to initialize the Chrome driver, I have to use the CD reference, and with I'll have to use the I reference. But does this look like a good solution to you? What do you think?
No, instead of this, we could use interfaces, right?
You can. How will you use that? If I try to use the interface over here, how do I use that?
Maybe we can create functions for, yeah. Go ahead.
Look, I'll tell you. The answer is that yes, the interfaces will help us over here. But right now, what we have studied is that fine. Every class will have the same set of functions. If I have to print the title of yahoo.com in Firefox, I can write Firefox driver fd, the object fd dot get title. If I have to print the title in Chrome, then I'll have to write cd, the reference is cd for Chrome. And if I have to write the title in I, I'll have to write I dot get title. But this doesn't make sense. I'm repeating the code. No, not parameterization. I'll tell you. What I will have to do is that I will have to understand another concept in interface. I'll explain you. Let me make a new class known as test and create the object of an interface first. Suppose I create the object of phone. I cannot create the object of phone in Java because phone is an interface. We had created the phone interface, right? phone is an interface. You cannot create the object of an interface. It is illegal. Phone is incomplete, right? Okay, interfaces are incomplete. So you will have to create the object of the implementing classes. For example, Nokia. Okay, or you can create the object of uh, what was the other class name? iPhone. iPhone I equals to new iPhone. Right. You can call the functions. I'm teaching you pretty simple things, nothing different. Okay, Nokia.call, Nokia.charge, and iPhone.call, iPhone.charge. Sorry. When you run this code, it gives you an output like this: Nokia calling, Nokia charging, iPhone calling, iPhone charging. It's pretty simple. Both the classes have same set of functions, call and charge. The implementation varies. iPhone will implement its call function in its own way, and Nokia will implement in its own way. Right. Now suppose iPhone says that it's got one more function. For example, public void IMAP. Okay, right. And I just print inside it iPhone maps. Now this is a proprietary function of iPhone class. Only iPhone has this IMAP function, not other phone classes. Okay, so obviously I can call this function over here as well. I will not be able to get it in Nokia, right? So obviously when I run it, it will print iPhone maps as well. This is fine. Okay, right? So a class can have a functions from the interface and it can also have its own functions. Now here is the twist. Okay, I'll just put a demarcating boundary. Listen to this carefully. People generally they get confused at this time. Right now we have created the object like Nokia n equals to new Nokia or iPhone I equals to new iPhone. Now I'll create the object like this. Phone P equals to new iPhone. Now I am taking the reference of the interface equating to the class implementing the interface. There is a difference out here in the line number 18 and line number 8. In line number 8, the reference was of the class and the object was of the class. Out here, the reference is of the interface and the object is of the class implementing the interface. If I create the object like this, then I can call the functions call, charge, but I cannot call the function IMAP. Basically, if I create the object like this, I can access all the functions in iPhone class which are coming from the phone interface. I cannot access the proprietary functions. I will not be able to access p.imap. It will give you an error. Okay. What is the difference? What is the difference between this line and this line? When do we use this? Why do we create the object like this? I'm going to tell you, but understand one thing, that if I create the object like this and if I run it, it will print iPhone calling, iPhone charging. It will call the functions in the iPhone class which are coming from the phone interface, not the proprietary ones. I can also, instead of iPhone, I can create the object of Nokia. I can just replace it with Nokia, and when I run this will print Nokia charging. Okay, right? So when I keep on running this, it will give you the same output. Now what is the advantage of doing this? The advantage is that my P is pointing towards the object of Nokia. P is the reference of phone class. Based on my wish, I can make P point towards the object of iPhone as well. It is my decision, like I can do that. And when I write p.call and p.charge again, and when I run this, it will print the functions from iPhone here and Nokia over here. Initially P was pointing towards Nokia. So when you call p.charge and call, it pointed from Nokia. Now I moved P to iPhone. So it's my discretion. I can create the object reference, say phone x equals to null. That means that this is the reference of the interface which is pointing towards nothing. Based on my decision, based on what I want, I can make x point towards new Nokia, or I can make x point towards new iPhone as well. Only thing is, I can access the functions in these two classes which are coming from the phone interface. Okay, if I write over here x.call and if I write over here x.call, this will call the function for Nokia and this will call the function for iPhone. Okay, right, I'll just run it. You see the output. Is there anybody with any doubt? This is very important. Is there anyone with any doubt? Okay, no doubt. We'll move forward. Right. Out here, we know that I just told you that WebDriver is an interface and Firefox driver, Chrome driver, iDriver, these are the classes implementing. Till now, we had created the objects like this. Hold on. Firefox driver equals to new Firefox driver, or Chrome driver equals to new Chrome driver. We had created objects like these. Now instead of writing like this, I can also write, say, WebDriver over here or WebDriver over here, the reference of the interface. Or maybe I can write, say, WebDriver driver equals to null. Both these classes are implementing the WebDriver interface. So I can make, based on my choice, I can make driver point towards new Firefox driver, or based on my choice, I can make driver point towards Chrome driver. It's up to me. I can make the reference of an interface and equate it to any driver class. If I run this program, both the browsers will open simultaneously. I don't want to run it right now. I'm just explaining you the concept. So out here in launch browsers, instead of writing the complete story like this, what we can do is that we can declare the reference, WebDriver reference, and based on our choice, we can initialize driver. You don't need to write these things down. Based on your choice, you can initialize the driver to Firefox, Chrome, or IE. Okay, it is your choice. Once it is initialized, now you can use it because the functions will remain the same. You can write outside this, you can write driver.get http gmail.com. Okay, you have initialized the driver over here, WebDriver, you can initialize it to null. Maybe you can also write over here system.out.println driver.get title. So based on the browser, the driver will be initialized and it will be taken to Gmail, it will print the title. Right now the browser is Mozilla, so when you run this code, okay, it will launch Mozilla and take you to Gmail. You see that? If I change my browser to Chrome, I just change the browser here to Chrome, and if I run the same code will launch Chrome and it will take me to Gmail. You see that? So this is the beauty of interfaces, and that this is how you use them. This is the title of the page, it's printed the title as well, and this is how you use interfaces in Selenium as well. Okay, WebDriver is the interface and all the other driver classes, they are implementing the interfaces. Anyone with any questions? Right. Now the next thing is, what do you do after reaching Gmail? You have to interact with the web page. Okay, you have to interact with the web page. You have to, what you need to do, you need to click on a link, write in a text field. Okay, there are various operations which you can do and you need to do those operations. So how do you do those operations? Okay, this is the next thing which we'll be doing in day 4. Okay, I'll stop here for today. Time is left, but to start with this topic I need a stretch of time as well. I think it's more than enough. I'll send you the recordings. Every day the class will remain the same at the same time. Anybody with any questions? Today was the last trial class. Around 2-3 seats are left. You can reach us if you want to join. Yeah. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask me. What do you want to download, Anjali? No, you cannot download the video. You can download the code. We'll give you the online link for the videos. From tomorrow onwards, there'll be no trial classes. You will be able to see the videos in your account. Okay, you'll get a login ID and password. In that, you will be seeing the videos. Okay. All right.